welcome back to episode 2 of our Minecraft World Tour. So last we left off, I was just leaving our desert temple and I was heading out through our underground subway system. So what I have done, and I'm going to show you, I came all the way from this tunnel goes on for eons, and that's the direction I came from. And I didn't want to spend a bunch of time in the video having you guys watch me walk through that whole section. So I walked over this way and I got right up to where our finished portion of our subway section is. And I wanted you guys to see that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop in our mine cart. I'm going to push the button. We're going to go for a little ride, get to our final destination. I'm going to speed up the video and I will see you when we get there. Alright, and welcome back. So this is our subway station. You can see there's still a lot of work left to do on it, but believe it or not, this was probably one of the most carefully planned building projects we undertook, and it's actually, you can see we've got two sides to it, and we actually had this great plan for this section under here, but that'll probably never happen now, or at least not anytime real soon. So we're going to come upstairs and see, I'm going to introduce you guys to what we call our Valley Village. Oh, look at this, right in time for the sunrise. So here's the Valley Village. You can see we've got this prime location right in between some snow-covered mountaintops and the grassland, and you'll see in a minute on the backside is a little bay. So this is a really cool little area, and we stumbled upon this village, and it had 4 villagers, and we stayed there the night, and by the time the night was over we only had 2 villagers left because 2 of them died. And one of the problems was right over here underneath where these stairs are, it was an entrance to a big cave, and they kept falling in there, and then they couldn't get out, and then they'd get eaten by monsters. And also, several of the buildings had like sand in front of the doors, or dirt in front of the doors, or the doors were too high. They couldn't get into them. So there wasn't a lot of places for the villagers to run and hide when the zombies came. So we decided that we were going to build a cool little town. And what we tried to do was get the best of both worlds. We wanted something that looked pretty cool, but also helped spawn villagers. So we will talk about that as we go, the spawning of villagers, which I think has now changed with 1.8. I think how villagers spawn has changed a little bit. But anyway, and I've seen this before. This guy, I don't know why this pig is in here. I don't know how he got in here, but he is always in here. We leave the door open and he will not leave. I don't know if he is a pet to one of the villagers, but I can't get that pig out of there. He's found his place. He likes it. So anyway, this is what we call our underground apartments. There's just 4 apartments. You can see they're rather small, but I think they look kind of cool. And up here is we have our townhomes. That's what we call them, our townhomes. And there's 2 sets of 3. There's 3 more on the other side. We'll see in a second. Oh, I forgot to mention we did hire some private security as the town grew, so we have an iron golem. This is a single family home, probably more like a single person home. None of these homes are really big, but the plan was to put several homes over this way to make it look like a little neighborhood. But there was this big, as we started to come over this way, we found this big cavern, and we never finished exploring it, so we will probably do that sometime, or maybe not. Like I said, we're going to start a whole new world anyway. Hello, Mr. Iron Golem. So behind the Iron Golem is one of our apartment buildings. This was supposed to look like a New York brownstone, and I don't know. I guess if you use your imagination, it kind of does. I don't know. It's not too bad, but we went astray somewhere in the build process. But each side has 3 units, so there's a main level, oops, and there is an upstairs. Small little apartment flat. And then there is a downstairs, like a true New York brownstone. We've got a basement apartment. Oh, someone left the door open. That was probably me. So you can see we've got plenty of space for the villagers. One thing I want to mention is that if you have a desire to try to do something like this, build a village where villagers will spawn, I highly recommend doing your homework ahead of time. So all of these buildings that you see, the villagers do use. So you can see this guy just came out of this door. There's villagers at night use all of these buildings. But there is some criteria for building a house or building a structure that a villager will consider a house. And we didn't know that at first, so we just threw up a bunch of buildings, slapped some doors on them, and because of the way we had them positioned next to each other, the villagers didn't consider them houses. So we weren't spawning any more villagers, and at night they wouldn't go inside of them. So we did our homework and figured out what was wrong, and all of these structures are considered homes, and you'll find villagers sporadically in all of them. So this is another little apartment building. Ooh, oh my gosh. Were you just trying to make out with me, dude? Not cool. Not cool at all, man. This is another little apartment building. We've only got 4 units in this one. They're really small units, so it's the exact same upstairs. These little small units, you go in that room, or in that door and up the stairs, and there's another room up there. So yeah, so we got these 2 apartment buildings, some townhomes, the apartment downstairs, and that is where all the villagers live. What we're going to look at now is where I live and where the kids and I live when we're in the Valley Village. And here is, we call this the house on the hill, and the villagers do not come over this way, and that's the way we want to keep it. And this design was stolen from Keralis, and I will put a link to his video in the comments below. If you have not seen a Keralis video, I highly recommend it. They're extremely entertaining, and he's a great builder. He builds some really cool stuff, and he is a very entertaining guy to listen to. So this was his desert home, one of his desert homes, and instead of using the sandstone and sand that he used, I swapped them out and used stone, brick, and wood. And really there's not a ton in here right now because we just finished building this, but there is one cool feature. If we push this button, you can see we've got a little secret stairway that leads down to our treasure room. Just like in the desert temple, we got a little treasure room. We push the button again and the stairs get covered up. So now you know all my secret treasure rooms. If you could keep that to you and all of your closest friends on YouTube, I would appreciate it. I don't need anyone coming in and stealing all my cool stuff. Oh, you know, here I am walking around with a sword. I'm surprised the village, that's probably why the villager was giving me the evil eye before, because I'm not supposed to have weapons out when I'm talking to villagers. So now this is over here, this is kind of my little pride and joy pet project over here in the Valley Village, and that is a new and improved chicken coop. So we got chickens here. We learned a lot from building the chicken coop in the Desert Temple. This one operates off this light sensor right here. So once a day when the sunlight hits it, it cooks the chickens that are below. We'll go look at them. So these chickens are just here to lay eggs. So lay lots of eggs. And then what happens is their eggs get collected in these hoppers and put into that dispenser, which shoots the eggs out into here. And then those eggs hatch little baby chickens. Hello, baby chickens. And then once a day, these droppers over here kick out some lava, and they cook the adult chickens. But because the floor is half slabs, the baby chickens will survive the lava. And they'll survive to live another day when they will be big chickens, and then they'll get cooked. And then their stuff gets put in these hoppers, and it goes all the way up to through an item elevator, and then that item elevator leads to this mini item sorter where we've got our the goodies that come from our cooked chickens. So that is that. That took me a long time to create because I'm not very good with designing ahead of time. So I always have these like little builds that I start to do, and then I run out of room and I make a mess. Over here is our open range farm. We built this for my daughter, who is very much a carnivore in real life, but a vegetarian in Minecraft. I don't think she can stomach killing the little digital animals, and she hates when we make something like this where we're just doing it to create um, or some kind of high efficiency to make food. She gets really upset with us for that. But we do it anyway, and then we made this for her so she can frolic with the animals and plant her vegetables, and then we'll just eat all the chicken. All right, so that is pretty much everything there is to see in the Valley Village. There's not a lot. We're going to go on a mini adventure, though, and we're going to see one more thing. We don't cheat, like I think I said this before, we don't cheat very often in Minecraft. There's a few tools we use, and as a matter of fact, if I didn't mention it, you should use one of the things that we used to help build the village was Village Finder, which is a great tool to use so you can see how many houses you have and how many villagers you can support. The other thing we use, when we get down here, I'll show you what it is, or I'll explain what it is. But we're going to come down here and you'll get to see the big cavern that was somewhat exposed up above. And I'm going to get my sword out because it's adventure time. So we've got this big cavern here, and we've kind of fully explored it. And then over here, you can see we've hollowed out a bunch of sections. And this is our slime farm, and we use the slime block finder. And the reason we do that is because there's so many things we want to build with sticky pistons that we can't build unless we have slime blocks. So we wanted to make sure that we'd always have the ability to build sticky pistons when we needed them. And so we use that logic to justify our desire to use the slime block finder. So we get tons of slimes. Usually I have, gosh, oodles of slimes, more than I can kill in one sitting. And yeah, so now we got a bunch of baby slimes. And I love to kill the baby slimes with slime balls. I don't know why that is. But usually when I pick up the slime balls, I like to kill the baby slimes with them. All right, so that is it. I'm going to let these guys jump around and frolic around me and say, hello, little slimes. And that is it for the Valley Village. We've got probably about 2 or 3 more videos worth of world tour. Our next stop will be our stronghold, which is not to be confused with what an actual Minecraft stronghold is. And I will explain that in the next video. So in the meantime, keep playing, have lots of fun, and we will see you in episode 3.